Morning guys, so welcome back to NZ Outlaw Kustoms. My name's Glenn if you don't know. So, in this video we're going to carry on basically in the last video I started making this stuff. And we're just got to do some tweaks and fine tuning. We'll close the top up a little bit at the back if we can. Get this to lift a little bit, half an inch-ish. And I'm going to remake these locks just so it also sits up a little bit, just to get them better. With getting the top situated better, I've realised that these need to be just a little bit shorter, and yeah, if we can get this to maybe just close just a little bit, it won't need to move much. If I can get, I don't know, even a quarter of an inch just closed up, everything will lift just a little bit. It's actually a little lower on this side than it is on the other side, I think. So yeah, we've got a little bit of jiggling to do, and then we'll make up these frames. I've got to tweak these braces, just straighten them a little bit, these bends, just so these curtains will sit on the inside, not the outside. The front one's okay because it sits in here, because this is further out. But yeah, just a little bit of tweaking here and there, and we'll be good. And then I can weld all this stuff up solid and dress it up and paint it and whatever. So I should be there. I should be cleaning up and I think prepping for paint by the end of the day, I hope. Anyway, I'll get into it. Righty. So the first thing I'm going to do, hopefully, is just mark up here that biro. Hopefully I can still see it when I fucking moved it. I'm hoping. Let's try this pencil now. I just want to see if I can get a line on there I can see. Don't know if I can or not. Kind of can see it, not really. I haven't really got anything else I can put on there. But anyway, I'll just pull this out. And the big tripod's good. It's borderline low, high enough, but this is pretty high. Like I'm standing on a little box to freaking do this easily, if you know what I mean. And we'll just pull this down a quarter of an inch and just see what it does, if you know what I mean. Now that I've got that, I won't put any more staples in there until we're 100% happy. We might just go a wee look at the front, just to make sure everything still looks nice and level. Level is, if you know what I mean. We're happy with the look of it. It looks okay, doesn't it? Doesn't look like anything's really moved wonky or anything. It looks pretty good. It's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. The back brace or back bow looks fairly level through there too. You know, it's as level as it's going to be. It could possibly come up a little bit more. I think we're pretty right. I think we're pretty good for everything. So I think I might make those, should I make those catches? I might make those locks for the top quickly, and rejiggle them And yeah, and then we'll carry on with the side curtains, I think. Right, so I've set to and made these two. Actually, where's the other one? I'll show you the difference. You get it? I clamped it all together in the vise and whatever and put a bolt through it when I did the other end. And so you can see that they're just that little bit shorter. And hopefully that's enough to bring us right with this. I may have to open these holes just a touch, but it should be pretty good. I don't want to make these too loose. So yeah, we'll do a trial fit, and then if they're right, I'll give them a bit of a clean up. I can actually have to fix the sleeve on the sandblaster. I was doing something in there the other day and pulled it off. Pain in the ass. One day I'll get some better frickin' hose clamps. I want some that's just got stupid screws in it. I want some with a frickin' hex head so I can get in there and go, you know, and tighten it up properly with even with a little ratchet or something like that. But yeah, we'll give these a little test fit, see how that sits with these in on both sides, and then we will carry on with the side curtains. Then we can sandblast these up, give them an etch, and give them a coat of paint, and they'll be ready by the end of the day anyway, ready to go on properly, if you know what I mean. So, actually I'll turn it around. Right, so yeah, it looks heaps better. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and straighten these pieces out a little bit so this fits in here. And then I think I might make another square to fit the other side of the back. But I'm going to put it on here. I just want to see, just confirm because when you get material showing around this, the canvas side piece, obviously it comes down to here with the buttons or whatever, and it's going to come forward of here into here somewhere, obviously for the other piece to overlap. So I just want to see this size back in here against this one, so I can get an idea of whether I want to make it longer or not with the two frames in place. And then I can decide whether I want to make these ones longer, because you are going to have all the excess material on it. Like even on the back edge of this here, like you're going to have at least another inch or more of fabric around here. You know, by the time, well, it might be quite an inch, but you're not going to be so dead hard up against this because there's so much you won't get in here. So you're going to have to be at least half an inch-ish out here. And I imagine it'll probably be double sewn or whatever. So you're going to be at least an inch. I would say probably, I wouldn't say maybe minimum, maybe a touch more. So it's going to be the same up here, but that won't matter because that'll clip in up here, or assume, or give you a little flap. So it'll make the doors a little bit hard to open, but that'll fold over, I imagine. Or they might, I don't know exactly. It's a shame I can't see a proper thing. It makes it a little bit difficult. The only other convertible one of these we know about is partway up country, I think. Because the one in Queenstown's a Phaeton. Is it a Phaeton? Duplex. I think the duplex is the one with the canvas sides, but wooden solid canvas top. It doesn't fold down, but it's still got the opening doors, and I think the Phaeton's got the wind up windows and full doors like normal. Like, it's got proper door frames, you know what I mean, with wind up glass, and the doors would be deeper. slightly. Not exactly sure how it works, but you know what I mean. Because that 27's got wind up, originally had wind up windows on the coupe. So yeah, but yeah, I'm just thinking with the extra canvas around here, and obviously you get the flap extension onto this, which clips onto here, and this comes over, overlaps it. If this comes back to wherever we had it yesterday, I don't want to move this one just right at the moment. So if this comes back to roughly where we had it yesterday, and then I'll go have a look, obviously guesstimate that we're going to have an extra inch on the back of it for material. So I just want to see what the overlap's going to be like and the space in between, and just then making the decision whether we make the frame like I was doing yesterday about an inch longer. It may not need to be. I can just make them all the same size, and then we'll contemplate that. Yes, right. So I'm glad I test fitted. This is how the frame was made. I'm glad I test fitted that in there with this other one. Definitely doesn't need to be longer. You know, with a little bit of space here and this back. So yeah, we're going to have that piece of material. Geez, can at least come to there. So if I make this long, then it's going to go back to here, and that's too much. So I think this is more than enough. The material around there, down to here. So the overlap is going to be, say, down to your window. It's not going to be to at least here. So your overlap can come all the way, basically to here, from this, before it impedes on the window. So yeah, look at it will probably come just sneaking behind here. This piece of the canvas on this. And obviously the front of this one tacks into here. Right, so I thought I'd give you an update. So I've got all these made now. I've obviously got these ones on the other side. I've got all the, obviously the other bits sorted. I've tweaked a few things. I'm not sure if it's been a while since I did a freaking update like today. So yeah, I think I've got this side fitting pretty good. I might have to tweak the odd piece, but it fits pretty nice. I haven't sorted, double checked height or anything, but it fits pretty good. So yeah, basically all I gotta do now is just work out the height that I want to have these at. Just make sure they're all even and level, and then just trim these, I guess, to be where I want them to be, so everything all lines up, and then start drilling some holes in there. So yeah, that's kind of the next thing to do, I guess, now that I've got them all made and cleaned up. And we V'd these all out, both sides, and then re-welded and whatever. And these ones are actually V'd. I actually ground these pieces with an angle on the belt sander. When I was dressing the ends up after I cut them, I just V'd the end and then just burn a good hot weld in there. I actually made these slightly shorter, cut these just a touch short, so they had a little bit of slop in there, so I could get right in, and then we flipped them over and ground it out so it come clean, and then yeah, welded it up again. So these are nice and should be nice and solid. They shouldn't break, if you know what I mean. Shouldn't have any issues there. So yeah, just got to give them obviously just a wee bit of more of a dressing in the corner, but we'll do that once we've got them all properly fitted, and we'll round the corners a little bit and whatever, and obviously dress them up, getting ready to paint. So that's kind of where we're at now. So we'll carry on and we'll get some more done, and we'll come back to you when we start getting these finalised, I guess, and work out exactly where we are. So yeah, we'll carry on. Righty, so what I've gone around and done is I've got the gaps pretty much the same. The front, it's slightly different, but pretty much the same. Like I said in earlier videos, there's a little bit of a distance difference in the doors. They're not exactly the same size, they're almost, if you know what I mean. So I've got these gaps pretty close. That one there is slightly wider than this one, but not by much. It's a couple of millimeters. And it's pretty even top and bottom. I've measured up from here to here. I will go double check it from the black to here, but I've tried to make it about 3/8 of an inch or 10 mil from the edge of this up to the bottom, to get them level. Obviously this isn't level yet, that's why I've gone in here and marked, so I can measure that where the black stops, trim a little bit off the bottom of the pegs, line that back up, sit it back in, and that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to line these up, basically trim a little bit off that, line these back up, shift it up, clamp it on, slip it back in, make sure we're still sitting the same, obviously with all of them. And then once I'm happy with that and my measurements are still good, then I will mark out where I want to drill my holes for my little bolts. So we'll have probably smaller versions of these, I would think. No, we could probably go those. We'll just see. We'll see what we can get in here, because I've left this a wee bit tight. We might go 1/4 inch, maybe. We could go 1/4 inch, it wouldn't hurt. But we'll see. I'll have a look, see if 5/8 will fit through there. Not 5/16, sorry, not 5/8. We'll see if 5/16 will fit through there. The original's on the white one. I don't know whether these were joined right through, but that's what I'm going to do. I just think it's stronger, less likely to something to pull apart or bend in the middle here. Just give it a wee bit more guts. So yeah, will be a bolt either side of that, and the same here, and obviously all the way around. But yeah, we'll get all these level first, so we'll measure, trim off the bottom of the posts a little bit here and there, nick them off so we can get them back to level again, and then we'll slip them all back in, and then we'll worry about these. So I know this is the position I want them in, so the gaps are all about the same in here. Even the gap back to here is pretty close. It's about 80 millimeters, or a bit over 3 inches. 75 millimeters is about 3 inches, so 80 is just slightly over that. It's about 1.25 inches. This is about the same. I think it's a wee bit bigger, a touch bigger, and this is not quite 1.75 inches, borderline 1.75 inches. Yeah, and a 3/8 from the bottom, or 10 mil, roughly. So I'm pretty happy with how that all fits. You know, they're all similar position, slightly forward of here. It needs to be slightly forward. Doesn't need to be, but you know what I mean. That's what they are in the photos. Slightly forward, reasonable amount back. I think there's enough gap in here to get a little bit of a pleat in here to allow the door to open. Obviously the guys doing that will work that out. So yeah, I think we're good. I think we're enough height. I was just looking at it before. I may fill that hole and just re-drill it slightly further down. Might just close it up a little bit further. I don't think it'll matter too much. I could also, if I really wanted to, I could pull this up another frickin', you know, 1/4 inch if I really need to, both sides. They're both pretty even, but I think might just fill that hole and re-weld it and re-drill it just slightly closer, another 2 or 3 mil closer together. But I haven't got anything tightened in there yet either, so but this one needs to come up a little bit too. It actually needs to come up more than the other one. But yeah, so we're getting close. So I'll get all these levelled, and we'll go from there, I think. Righty, so I've got all these trimmed down and all sitting in here back level, I think, or close to it. And obviously I've started drilling the holes in them all. The only one I've got to do is that side. But unfortunately, Mrs. wants me, rings them out, it's Saturday morning. I normally work till lunchtime, but she wants me to go fucking get some stuff to make the young fella a tree hut house, what do you want to call it. So apparently the shop, one of the local like farming supply places, it's only open till lunchtime, and they've got a whole heap of like wooden pallets there that we can have for nothing. So she wants me to go do that this morning so we can spend the rest of the weekend making him a tree hut cubby house thing, which is understandable. He's 11, so he loves doing that sort of stuff. But yeah, pain in the butt that I've got to leave early to to do that. Like, I wouldn't mind doing it after, but yeah, they're not open, so a bit of a pain. Anyway, so I'm going to bugger off. I might shoot back down here in the morning or something like that and finish off for an hour or two. Get this stuff cleaned up and at least get it etched. I was hoping to get it, basically once I've finished drilling these holes, I can go around and do all the final clean up and whatever I actually want to weld up. I screwed up fucking hole on the side. This one here I fucking ended up with too high for some stupid reason. I started drilling it. I had it on a bit of a weird angle when I hit it in the drill press, and I couldn't quite see how far over I was, so I want to weld that up and re-drill it down a little bit and actually across a little bit. It's a bit close together. All the rest of them are about an inch apart, the holes. But if I screwed that one up, so I'll have to weld it up and fix it. Yeah, and I've still got to do these ones. I was going to do those ones next, but yeah, she wants me to come and do it. The other thing too is these front ones are easy to get in. The back ones are easy to get in, but they're a bit of a pain to get out because it hits up on here too easy, and like when you're trying to pull it up, it might be alright if you had somebody here because you could get somebody just to help hold a wee bit of pressure on that to make it clear. But yeah, it's a bit of a pain. So the only other thing I'm wondering is maybe, I don't think I can, is possibly running this on the inside just to give it a little bit of clearance, but it might just have to be like that. It's easy enough to get it in, it's just getting it out. But I think probably if you folded the top back and then lifted them out, it'll be right anyway. It's just sort of, if you're in the middle of the day and you, all of a sudden, the day's not too bad, we'll pull the side curtains out, it's come out nice. Yeah. But the only other thing too is they won't actually fit underneath the back seat, which is a bit of a pain. Yeah, the guy from Australia said they don't fit underneath the back seat in his either, so I don't know, it's probably just one of those things you probably just, if you knew it was going to be a shitty day, you threw them in the car and took them with you back in the day, or you just left them in. If you happen to be away for a few days, or you just left them in, or you pulled them out and sat them in the back somewhere, or whatever, I guess, you just left them in. Or if you folded the top up, you just pop them in the back seat, or somebody had to nurse them. I don't freaking know. They would almost, if you'd actually undid the bolts, you'd probably get them, tuck them in underneath the back seat a little bit, maybe, but yeah, they don't really quite fit. That almost would, but yeah, they don't. I imagine with all the other material on them, they probably wouldn't, because all of a sudden they're down here and, above here. So the top piece will have to be fairly short, but it should bend over if you open the door. It'll push past, I would think. I hope. Yeah, we'll find out, I guess. But I am going to lift this a little bit, and we might just pull this up a little bit tighter yet. Might pull it up a little bit tighter both sides, just to get an extra little bit, just for a little bit extra clearance. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with them anyway. Worst comes to worst, I'll cut this and I'll drop it down a little bit if it does happen to be a pain in the ass. If we think it was going to be a bit of an issue, we can drop it down a little bit at the top. Just have to shorten them all and rewrite it. Worst comes to worst. Like the fronts, I don't think it'd be too much of an issue. It might be the back ones, but yeah, we're close anyway. We're almost done. Just wish we had the last little bits and pieces, sprinkly stuff for here, so we could fucking finish putting it together. But anyway, right, catch you later on. Right, morning. Welcome back again to Easy Outlaw Kustoms. So part way through this video of doing these window frames. So I was in here on Saturday morning and we got, whoa, it's a big fucking tripod. I'm still trying to get used to it. So we got these on. I've got to weld up this hole in here because I screwed it up, so I want to shift that. And then we'll do these ones. And then I think we'll do this or weld these holes up in these locks again, since we haven't. I want to lift them just a little bit more. I had them at 65 mils apart. Holes, the original ones were 70, I think. I might close them up to 60 and just get this stuff to lift up a bit. Just open this gap up both sides. Then we may just pull the straps a little bit tight across the top. Maybe. Just still not happy with how things sit. We're not far away, but you know, sometimes it takes a few jiggles to get things right. So yeah, I think I might as well weld that hole up with the holes up in them, and then I can re-drill those holes, and we can go from there, I guess. And then I'll mark these ones out. I'll leave these in the meantime. We'll get just fixed. Shift these about 5 mils up, and I'll go from there, I think. Okay, I've just seen this on TikTok. Let's see. Apparently, on here, we'll rub that pencil mark out. Hopefully you can, I don't know if you fucking see it or not. Well, this one doesn't very well. It just leaves black fucking marks. This isn't a Stanley though. That's what he was using. So, yeah, Don't think so. Maybe it's just Stanley ones. I haven't got a Stanley here, I don't think. But there is a Stanley, I think, at home. I'll try it tomorrow. Righty, so I've given them all a coat of etch, run out of paint. I missed a can, or bin. So yeah, I've all had a couple, I wouldn't say, just a reasonable couple of lightish coats of etch, give them a reasonable seal up. So yeah, the frames will, just the main window frames, they'll just get a couple of lightish coats of black, and the rest will get a reasonable coat of black, because you're gonna see these within reason, I guess, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I don't think it's worth mixing up proper paint. I could mix up a little batch of black, I guess, and spray it in the gun, I guess. I just don't really want to be spraying 2-pack around. No, we're kind of close to finished. Like I'm that's sort of semi-finished, being buffed. I don't want to have to go back over that shit and wet sand it. Like I'd probably just a wash down in a quick buff again, for those sort of things. I don't want to have to go down through and try and fucking clean all over spray off. So yeah, no, I won't. I'll just do it right can. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. It'll be interesting to see what this sprays out like. If it doesn't turn out very good, well, we might have to put a coated 2-pack over top, but I thought it'd be fine. It's like it's gloss-ish, you know. It's a lot gloss than that other stuff, apparently, so. It says it's gloss anyway. We'll find out. High gloss, fast dry. So, and we'll make a reasonable job of those for what they're being used for, if you know what I mean. You're not really seeing, you've seen them, but you're not really seeing them. It's only on the inside, and you're not going to be staring at them unless it's got the sides in. These little links up here, you know, by the time it's all covered in canvas and everything, you're not looking at it. It's just a piece that you're going to kind of look at occasionally on the inside. It wouldn't be hard to tighten them up at some point anyway. I'm probably going to get no more scratch than the rest of it, so anyway, yeah, we'll give them a coat of black after lunch, probably. That should be well and truly dry. It's a bit cool still, but yeah, got a good frost this morning, so we'll give them a chance to dry over lunch, and we'll might give them a light scarf just in case. Might just hit them with a little 400 just in case there's any runs or anything on those bits. Not too worried about those other frames. They're going to be covered. It's just protection. Stop them from rusting on the inside with a bit of moisture, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll catch you after lunch. Righty, I'll just hit all these with a couple of coats of the black. I'll let this dry for a bit, and then I'll hit this stuff again. The pieces you see. I don't think there's much point doing these again. I could do, but don't think there's much point when it's going to be covered in fabric. It's got a couple of reasonable coats in there. And that'll be enough to seal them up and stop them from rusting and all that sort of crap. These will give another couple of coats. So I just want to see what it's like when it flashes off, just to see how shiny it is, to see if I can maybe get these a little bit shinier. And put a bit more paint on them. Hopefully, you know, with a couple more coats, they'll be sort of blend with what's here, if you know what I mean. It won't, but it will. You know what I mean? Just try and make it blend a bit better. So yeah, let's let that dry. So what am I going to do now? I might play around with just light tail light. If you're wondering what this is, it's the shell off my computer case. I was actually down here yesterday. I've done some footage. I haven't gone through it yet. I had to replace a fan, this one, because it's stopped working, and young fella was playing with it because I had the cover off for a while because the on-off switch, this is just the button, but the switch itself underneath was playing up, and I replaced that a wee while ago, and I had this off because it was the replacement switch I had was slightly higher, and it kept it would turn just wouldn't work. It was pushing on it all the time, so it was turning it off and then on then off. But I was just trying to modify a couple little bits and pieces. I want to put this in the front of it to sit on the frame that holds everything else, but I just haven't quite got this position right, and I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to do it without stripping the whole inside of the computer out, because it's like got a whole frame and guts and everything, and all the computer sits inside it. If you're wondering what this is off, it's a 1950-ish Bedford truck grill shell. So yeah, this is a bolt, goes through here, and through the other side, and it sits in position. But I just want to have it so this, I can just slip this thing over top, and it sits in the same place every time instead of wiggling it round. It works reasonably well, but it's just not foolproof, if you suppose you can call it. I think that's part of the reason why the button got damaged. If I had to take this off for any reason to muck around with anything and change, like put another drive in it or whatever, or muck around with stuff to even just clean it out, that was giving the power button a hard time. So yeah, I want to put just some behind here so it slips into the frame nicely, but I just can't quite get the position of it right. I was mucking around with it for probably an hour or two yesterday while I did some repairs, changed some fans over, and I shortened the piece where the power button sit. I just shaved a little bit off it. It's actually it's like a little square of steel I cut off it yesterday. Here, I reckon flapping around somewhere. Doesn't matter. I cut it like a little, just, I don't know, less than, probably about, yeah, it wouldn't be a quarter of an inch, might be an eighth of an inch off the top of it, so the button sit down further. So that's what this is. So yeah, I was just mucking around with that. But anyway, yesterday, on my day off, so yeah, I want to do a bit more with this, see if I can get it together, and I might make up a, might actually roll a little piece of steel or something to tuck in behind here to help hold that steady. So I might just roll a little piece of metal on the English wheel, because I could just bend it and then just trim it to fit, but it's kind of, it probably won't matter actually. I can probably just bend it and then just cut it to fit. But yeah, because I thought it might have a curve in it, might have to do a little bit of shrinking, but I think it'll probably better form it to that shape and then just mark it out and trim it round. I just want something to help hold this from the underside, if you know what I mean, so it can't spread itself and drop down since it's been broken. And I'll just slip it in behind and it will hold on with these screws, just to help hold everything there. So yeah, I might do that. Well, I'm waiting on that paint to dry a little bit. Alright, so I run this through the rollers. Just trying to get this to fit in here, so I can get a bit of a, just hopefully put some sort of marking on there so I can drill some holes and marks and shit, I guess. So mark the bolt holes, or screw holes. Trying to do this without moving it too much. Right, and then like this. Okay, so this will sit on top of here like that, and just to help hold it up is my plan. So I'm going to cut a lot of this away now. Obviously going to drill a hole through here and a hole through there. I might, I don't know, no, I might not need to. I was thinking about doing a little bead roll, but I don't know if I have to just help hold it. But I think it should be okay. We'll just cut some of this away. Should cut the centre out, drill a couple of holes in it, and then hopefully it'll sit at the front. Yeah. Hopefully it'll sit over here like this. This is the front, or the, I wouldn't say the front, the back, actually where the light is. Hopefully it'll sit over there like that and just help hold that glass in place so it doesn't collapse in with jiggling around and whatever. That's the plan, I'm hoping. I might have to do a little bit more shaping in this, but we'll cut some of this away, I think, now. Nail that. I'm hoping, we're going to pray, might be able to just slip this. So it sits in there like that. I'm just worried about with it being broken, if it does crack, it might jiggle out and fall out. If I put this in here, it might be just enough to hold it in place without it rattling out, if you know what I mean. If the glue does happen to crack more. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I was going to put a rubber gasket in there, but I don't know if I need to. Because I'm just looking at the thickness of it. But, can I? Ooh. Careful, don't shoot yourself. Looking at the, sorry Josh, wonder if I can stretch this bottom piece out a little bit. So I've got that in there. Yeah, I'm just worried that might come loose and rattle around in there. At least if it's held in there with a bit of, a little piece of metal and screwed through there, it will hold it in place and it at least shouldn't jiggle around, if you know what I mean. Unless luckily it'll smash itself to death, I guess. Worst comes to worst, I'll see if I can find a bit of perspex or something that we can heat and conform to that shape and put in there instead. It won't matter. It's just clear glass. It's just, you know, worst comes to worst. We put a plastic lens in there, like it's, you're not down underneath there looking. So yeah, I might have anything else on it now. That's the next concern. Put that on there. Should be okay. It should be okay. Oh, well, I might see if I can stretch that a little bit. I don't know how. I don't know whether I can stretch it a little bit in English wheel. Just roll it on that piece. Backwards and forwards, make it stretch. Bit awkward, but so that I hit with a hammer a few times and just get it to stretch out and just reform it a little. Yeah, we'll give it a quick coat of silver paint or something. Onto the loop. There's it. That might do the job. Right. So yeah, I'll just actually just set it in English. I'll show you. It's pretty awkward, but you know what I mean. After I beat it with the hammer a little bit, just to try and get this to just stretch a little bit, I just put a bit of tension on the wheel. And I'll just poke in here like this, and then I'll just run it backwards and forwards a bit, just to let it try and smooth it out and just give it a bit of stretch. Didn't need much, so that'll do. We'll give that a quick coat of silver, just so it's got some protection. I haven't got any etch left, but I don't think it'll matter. A little piece like that. A little piece like that. Bang that on the hook. Paint it black, but maybe put some silver in there, at least to reflect some light. Instead of absorbing it. A little bit of protection. Not just bare steel. Lovely. The evening. Very good. See the stuff in the coat. Black. shot a lip. Right. Oh, we will check time and see what's going on. It's one of those waiting games because I've got freaking bugger all to do. Yeah, I just keep them there waiting for stuff. If I had electrical and bits and pieces to carry on with, well, you know, you've got something else to pot around with in between, but I need another car here. So that's what I might do. I might make some phone calls and see if any of these people are actually going to turn up with something. Brass off that guy didn't turn up the other day when he said he was going to. You know.
Welcome to Iron Outlaws. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this.